we were dating, I was doing this thing called government contracting. And Kina would see me go to different customer agencies, pitch our products and services to federal agencies. And I remember one day she said to me, she says, "How do I do that?" You remember that day?
I do.
And honestly, I was like, I don't know. Because at the time, I didn't think the federal government purchased barbering and cosmetology services.
You know what you make in a week. So start tagging from what you would make in a week to what he just said, plus some. And I'm just going to leave it there because
welcome to my channel. My name is Curtis A. Merriweather Jr. In 2020, I was named a game changer by the White House Policy Advisor for Innovation Entrepreneurship. And I want to serve as your government contracting coach. Now, our channel is unlike other channels because it's based on 26 years of progressive government contracting experience. As many of you guys know, I started government contracting in high school. But the goal of this channel is to help entrepreneurs overcome their fears and challenges. And one of the ways we help entrepreneurs overcome their fears and challenges is by providing education, consultation, and training support services. Now, our channel is unique because it's based on 26 years of progressive experience, as I mentioned, plus it's based on advanced education. As many of you guys know, I've invested very heavily in my business education. I have an MBA, a Master's of Science in Project Management, and now I have just fulfilled the requirements for a PhD in management. So our channel is going to be to talk about the practical as well as the theoretical, based on lessons learned, and just based on things that are going to help you shorten your learning curve on your entrepreneurial journey. So I'm hoping that you would travel alongside with me in your business government contracting education. Now, before I move on, if you have not already, I want you to smash that subscribe button. I want you to share. I want you to like, and I want you to hit the notification bell. So anytime I produce new content, you will be notified most expeditiously. Now, on the screen, you see our website, 8figuregovcon.com. I want you to navigate to that website, take a look around, and I want you to eventually find yourself on our store page. Now, on our store page, you're going to see we have an a la carte menu, but you're going to see two of our flagship programs. The number one flagship program is going to be the 8-figure GovCon Mastery 5X program. This is not just a course, this is actually a program. We're going to take you through a guided journey to help you overcome any kind of challenges and pitfalls that you may come in contact with on your government contracting journey. So we want to travel with you in that process. This is going to be a guided tour. That's our first program. Our second program is our mentorship program. Now, the mentorship program is unique because not only are we focused on helping you develop as an executive, it's going to also include the government contracting 5X Mastery Bundle. So you're going to get the mentorship and the government contracting training in the mentorship program. So it's going to be designed to really help you hone your skills as a government contractor, as well as your executive skills so you can lead and grow and scale organizations. So we got an 8-figure government contract mastery 5X and the mentorship program. So I want you to take some time and look through the website, and I'm sure you're going to find a lot of information. Now, both of those programs are designed for both new as well as seasoned entrepreneurs. So it doesn't matter how long you've been in this space. So if you have prior business education, but maybe no government contracting experience, we have content for you too. I've got nothing but great comments and feedback from my students, both new as well as seasoned entrepreneurs, and it's really helping them revolutionize their businesses. Now that we have that out the way, I have a very interesting conversation for you guys today. And I have a special guest. But before I bring my guest on, I want to tell you what we're going to talk about today. And this is going to be a very unique topic. We're going to talk about government contracting for barbers and cosmetologists. Now, before I bring my special guest to the screen, I want to just briefly give a very brief introduction. The young lady that I'm going to bring to the screen has been in the cosmetology space for 26 years. I believe I got the years right. 26 years. She's shaking her head and said, no, I see her. She's been in this space for a long time. I'll let her clarify how long she's been in the space in a moment. She has educated for schools like Paul Mitchell, Dudley. She walked the halls with Mr. Joe Dudley himself, for those who are familiar with that product line. She is a dynamic educator, public speaker now, just an amazing artisan of the craft of cosmetology. And I'm honored to call her my friend, my partner, and my wife. So I would like to bring to the screen, new to many of you, Miss Kinah Merriweather. How you doing, Kina?
Hello, Curtis. How are you today?
I am well. Okay, so it is obvious that I butchered up the intro. That's okay, because this is unscripted here. So I want you to tell the people who you are and give them a little bit of background into kind of how we got here. So I don't want you to give the whole story away, but tell them briefly a little bit of background in your experience in the cosmetology space.
Absolutely. So this year will make 28 years that I've been a licensed cosmetologist.
I missed it by two.
It's okay. It's okay. It's been a very long time. And, I am retired from behind the chair, but I'm still in the cosmetology space, sitting on our South Carolina State Board of Cosmetology, as well as still educating in the industry to those who are in the business and want, advanced education. I still, do mentoring and things like that. But as a cosmetologist, I became a government contractor because I wanted to retire from behind the chair at the age of 40, which I did. At the age of 19, I had no idea what I was speaking into existence, but I said it. And I'm just so blessed to have you, Curtis, as my husband, being a government contractor and actually researching and finding out if there was something in it for me, because I wanted to retire from behind the chair, and I was actually able to do that. And through this process, I really wish I knew about this when I was still behind the chair, because I probably would not have worked so hard to make money. I made great money, had a 6-figure salon. And through that process, there was a lot of time spent in the salon. And had I known that I could do something like this as a wig maker, I would have been able to free up some of my time, and really cut down some of my overhead costs. And I could have started saving for my retirement, because in our industry, we don't have a 501k. We're not taught in cosmetology school how to prepare, to retire whenever that age comes about and you're ready to just come from behind the chair. We're kind of taught to retire from behind the chair and then become a cosmetology instructor. But I did everything totally backwards, and it worked wonderfully. I became a cosmetology instructor at the age of 20. Yeah. I knew I wanted to go into teaching at some point, so I took the courses early. That way, when I got ready to retire, I would already have the license. That in my mind was going to be my retirement plan. That's what they teach us. But in that process, I did everything backwards, started teaching. As soon as I got that instructor's license, and like Curtis stated, I taught for Dudley, and I am a DCU alumni, class of 97, and got to become a part of Mr. Joel Dudley Sr.'s mentorship program at 19 years of age. And when I embarked on that mentorship program, it was really so that I could learn the business and possibly one day have my own product line. I didn't know if I was going to do that, but I wanted to at least get the knowledge and have it on the back burner. So I was always a person that would think ahead of the game. And I never really thought like the average cosmetologist. It was always a step above. So for me, having that experience, it was only two of us, and everyone else was older gentlemen in their late 20s or 30s. And I was this young girl walking 5 o'clock in the morning, the grounds of where our product company was. Got to work in the actual home office during that time, and in the factory side, and screwed on, caps of Scout Special. So I got to see the assembly line of how the products actually were shipped out and how the products were made. Got to, be introduced to the chemists. So I had a lot of knowledge at a young age. But to be here on the government contractor side, this was never taught. No one knew about it. So, for me, I really want to educate people in my industry to let them know that this is something that's possible, that they could either, use for retirement money or investment, and or cut some of their time down working so hard in the salon. And since COVID, so much has changed. And a lot of cosmetologists lost money, and barbers lost money. So we got to make up for, lost revenue. So that's how I got here.
So Kina, you said a lot. There was a couple things that I just want to key in on briefly. You talked about being retired from behind the chair. So for those who may not be familiar with that term, what does being retired from behind the chair mean?
Well, that means I was able to close my salon and walk away from being a salon owner. So I no longer have to do hair behind the chair to make a living. However, I'm still able to provide services just in a different way.
No, that's good. That's good. And you also talked about not having a 401k. Why is that important as it relates to government contracting?
I believe government contracting really helps to pave the way to be able to save towards retirement. It's a substantial amount of money that you're actually paid per patient. And that amount of money, normally if you were paying into a 401k, you wouldn't even be paying the full amount of what you're going to make. So you're actually able to save some of that for retirement. And if you want to do something else with the remainder, you have that freedom, or you can just save it all. And actually you would be able to save a lot of that money, whatever that retirement would look like for you. I'm not a wealth advisor, but whatever that would look like for you to comfortably retire, you would be able to hit that number a lot faster by getting involved in government contracting, because of what they are willing to pay for the product and services for what it is that they want.
Okay, now we didn't learn that you have walked the halls with Mr. Joe Dudley. We learned that you have traveled all over the world teaching advanced weaving techniques. You've worked for some of the big brands. So how did you fall into this government contracting thing?
Well, you said that part. I don't think I talked about it, but since you brought it up, I did talk about being a wig maker. And I had the pleasure to become a platform artist, teach, travel all over the world, do all the big name shows, Premier Hair Show, Proud Lady Hair Show, Rana Brothers, travel overseas and over in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, and teach wig making and weaving techniques. And I'm grateful I did those things so early, because it really set me up, for what it is that I'm doing today, just being able to have that experience under my belt and being able to teach it, it just made me a better government contractor, because what I found is the government really, they don't understand what it is that we do. So how I made myself different from other vendors was because of my specialties and my expertise. So I was able to provide to the government those expertise and educate them as well on what men and women who have hair loss are actually looking for when they are getting a cranial prosthesis. And with that education, like I said, it just set me apart, totally differentiated me from everyone else. And I was able to just maximize on my skill level and what I'm able to offer to.
So you mentioned a term that I'm sure is unfamiliar to most, probably not all, but most. What is a cranial prosthesis?
A cranial prosthesis is the medical term for a unit, aka wigs. What makes a cranial prosthesis different from the average wig that you would get from the beauty supply store is it's customized. Excuse me, it's customized to fit the patient's actual scalp. So therefore, they have a better fit, a better look. It looks more natural, and that's what we want. We want it to be undetectable. And beauty supply store doesn't really offer that, and most vendors are not going to be able to offer that either, because, like I said, with having the training and being able to make a mold of a client's head is what makes you different in what you're able to offer. So for me, I take it very seriously. I'm not a person to just do measurements. You can do measurements. Those things definitely do work. As long as you are trained in knowing how to make those units fit with measurements, I found it very easy to make a mold of the client's head and make the units based on that. So a cranial prosthesis is a more customized fit versus what you would buy from a store. So that's the difference.
Okay, that gives me a follow-on question, because I'm thinking about our subscribers.
Okay.
So say that they don't have the experience you've had. They haven't traveled on advanced weaving technique teams. They maybe not have done platform artistry. So how can they get in this space as well? Can they get in this space?
Well, you can get into space, and I'm going to speak from the perspective of a cosmetologist and a barber, because I think I probably am sounding more on the cosmetology side. So let me bounce back and forth between the two. Okay. What I suggest is, if this is something that you want to get into and you want to be able to make top dollar, I definitely suggest you take some classes and learn how to, provide a cranial prosthesis by customizing. If you don't have the desire to really make wigs, you can still customize wigs that are pre-made. It's just going to take a little bit more work. And again, if you're going to make the top dollar to set yourself apart and do true customization, you just want to make sure that you get educated. A lot of the barbers now are taking those classes. We see it all over social media. So many men have had hair loss, and there's not been a solution in terms of being able to make them still look like they have hair and it looks natural. Now we see that happening. And because that's happening now, you see classes all over social media. Now your investment in your classes, you're going to make that back off your first unit. So I would suggest starting with that. But in the meantime, taking a part of a course and what you're offering is also going to set them up at the same time, because as soon as you are ready, you can jump right into it, because you already have your business built and everything is fresh and you're ready to jump in, feet first. So I definitely suggest that. However, if you have not taken any classes or anything like that, and you're like, hey, I just naturally can make wigs as a cosmetologist, or I just naturally know how to make units or put units on men and make them look good. As long as your skill level is up to par, you'll be absolutely fine. You'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, that's what I suggest.
No, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Now, here's the question. You know, you and I don't know if we said this, but you and I, when we were dating, and of course for the viewers, Kina and I are married now. When we were dating, I was doing this thing called government contracting, and Kina would see me go to different customer agencies and pitch our products and services to federal agencies. And I remember one day she said to me, she says, "How do I do that?" Do you remember that day?
I do.
And honestly, I was like, I don't know. Because at the time, I didn't think the federal government purchased barbering and cosmetology services. But, I did some digging, and I think we did a video on YouTube a long, long time ago. We have now relaunched that course. Kina and I are co-teaching this course. So we call it The Best of Both Worlds. I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, there was an album by Jay-Z and R. Kelly, and they called it The Best of Both Worlds. So you had R&B and hip hop. So in this course, Kina and I believe this is the best of both worlds. She is a big brand in the cosmetology space. She sits on the state board. She sits on the state board as a hearing officer. She has worked for both, minority-based cosmetology institutions, non-minority-based, I don't know how to say that, cosmetology institutions. She's been a platform artist. She's been on traveling teams teaching advanced wig making techniques. And so we wanted to come together and join forces. I know nothing. Let me be very clear. I know nothing other than what I've picked up by hanging around Kina and sitting in some of those continuing unit courses that she teaches from time to time. I know very little about cosmetology. So she took what she knew, and I took what I knew, and we put it together, and we created what we believe to be a great course. Now, this is not the first time we taught this. This is a relaunch because Kina had a burning desire right around the pandemic when she was seeing a lot of her friends and colleagues literally shut down because they couldn't make money because what was happening in the world with what we now know as the coronavirus. Because when it first came out back in October of 2019, a lot of people got sick, but in 2020 we figured out what it was. And she's seen a lot of her beauty business friends and colleagues out of commission. And we were already in the government contracting space for barber and cosmetology services. And she said, I have to teach this to the community. So what we've done is we've compiled more than 20 hours of instruction, and we're teaching the course to show you how to. Now, in this course, we're not teaching advanced weaving techniques. We're not doing that. So there is an assumption that you already have some type of skills from a weaving technique perspective. Now, something I'm going to say that Kina will agree with. One of the things we have noticed that the majority of our students in the past have been non-cosmetologists. Am I right, Kina? Most of our students have not been cosmetologists. Most of our students have been business people. Now, we are not going to turn anyone away who wants to learn this space. Okay. You're not going to have to write proposals. That's the great thing about this. We have a proven method, and we have one specific customer we're going to teach people how to navigate. Now, these services can be expanded. You can go far beyond the scope of this course, especially some of the things I'm doing in the 8-figure GovCon mastery course. But this course that Kina and I are co-teaching, which is called Government Contracting for Barbers and Cosmetologists, under the 8-figure GovCon website. It's going to be on the store page. We are going to teach you how to navigate this space through simplified acquisition procedures. Yeah. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I want to just, get you guys to also understand that we are teaching you how to set up your entire government contracting business. And we're going to suggest ways for you to operate in that business. I know the last time we launched this, I want to say, oh man, it was a lot of people that went through the program. I want to stress this. You have to be committed for your future and what that looks like today. You have to be committed today. And it's going to take, using some skills you probably have not used in a long time. And that's going to consist of you getting on your computer. And I know as cosmetologists and barbers, that's not something that we've had to do often. We have a lot of software now that kind of works for us in terms of scheduling and websites and things of that nature. But you are going to have to put your fingers to work and, make a couple things happen. But it doesn't take a lot of work. It just takes your commitment. And once we are finished helping you set up your entire business down to the conversations that you need to have, what that sounds like, what those emails look like, what they're going to ask you, how to respond back, your pricing and what that looks like, how to differentiate yourself, how to make money several ways. That's a bonus. So we're not going to get into that because we don't want to spoil it. But we have some bonuses in there for you so that you also can continue to make revenue a couple of different ways. It's all in how you position yourself. So if you are really thinking about strategically how to plan your exit or how to create more revenue for your business at this present time, this is the course for you. And like Curtis said, over COVID, a lot of my friends were not making money, but I was still getting orders because at the end of the day, how the world was operating, those patients didn't necessarily have to go in to see, their doctors. Their doctors were just able to write those scripts that they needed, and they were able to get through the prosthetics and directly to me. So for me to work from home was great, and I didn't lose any money. I actually made, I ain't gonna say it, but I did well.
You did well, especially everyone else was shut down. We were completely unaffected by COVID. And newsflash, you've been watching the news, they've already talking about kind of another something. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Watch the news. They've already talked about a couple of things. So if this comes again, one of the things we want to help our students do in the barber and cosmetology space is to become recession proof. So how do you still make money regardless of what's happening in the world around us? How do you do it? Now, Kina mentioned something I do want to explain. The things we're going to ask you to do are not going to be hard. And we're going to show you step by step. Anyone who's taken a class with Kina and I before can vouch for this. We're going to take you step by step. We're both educators. Kina's an educator. I'm an educator. I just finished my PhD. Kina has been teaching for a long time in cosmetology schools. So she is a great educator. She'll talk about, all the different learning styles. She'll figure out the different learning styles in the room and teach to the learning styles. I mean, it's like watching poetry in motion. If you watch her educate. So we've compiled 20 plus hours of content. And then we're gonna do monthly Zoom calls to address your questions. In those Zooms, they're gonna be Kina and I, unless there's a schedule conflict, but one or both of us will be in the room. And if I'm there, we're gonna definitely talk about government contracting. If Kina's there, she can talk about vendors and how to source the product and how to do it. She gives out her list. Now, these are the people we have vetted. You can use the list we're going to provide, or you can come up with your own people. But we have solidified our process, and we're going to share our process with you. Now, we strongly recommend you follow our process, but you're going to always have that one or two students that's going to want to do beat to their own drum, and that's okay. But what we're saying is we know that the process we're teaching is solid, but you have to be truly committed to this process. Again, it's not that it's difficult. It's not difficult. We're going to tell you all of the things to watch out for. We're going to share some of our horror stories, the things that worked, the things that didn't work. And the reason why we're so transparent is because we want you to, we had to figure this out. We literally had to figure it out, and we made all the mistakes so you don't have to. So the things that we're going to share is going to be based on my experience in government contracting and in Kina's experience in cosmetology, and how to bring those two worlds together so you can make a serious financial return. Now, I'm going to say this. The federal government is willing to pay. Should I tell them? Not the fully burdened price.
I think it would be fair for you to give them a range.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna give a range.
I wouldn't want to.
Let me just say this.
Just know that as a cosmetologist and barber, standing behind your chair in a week, you can make with one
unit.
Hear me clearly. One order.
Yes.
And it's because of what you're able to provide.
Right.
It's not because I could just give them anything and everything. No, it's being able to provide a product and the service.
Right.
And that is what's important. That's what, we learn through the process, how to kind of work along and move along to get the price point where we needed it to be for what it was that I was able to offer. Because if you're putting in 3 or 4 hours worth of color work on one unit, we want to get paid for that. Plus the product that you have to use to be able to, make that happen. Plus the unit itself and making it, or if you're outsourcing and you're buying them already pre-made, you still got to customize them. So we already know what that entails. And for the barbers, for you, being able to purchase your units, and like Curtis said, I'm giving you my list of where I get hair from, especially when it comes down to the units for the men, because those are handmade. Those are not things that I personally make, but I buy them from a manufacturer and they're made. But when they come, they still have to be texturized. They got to be colored, all these things before you actually cut them and put them on your patient. So with the barbers, it's a little bit of an extra step. With the women, we don't necessarily have to put them on. Once they're done, you package it up, ship it off. They take it to their stylist if they want to get them, put on to stay on, because a lot of women like that now. Or you can just make them to put on and take off every day. Just depends. That's where the customization comes in. But for the men actually have to get their units put on. So you're able to factor that into your cost, which is amazing. And that could be done for the ladies too. You have a full service salon and that's what you're offering. If they want them to be put on, you factor that into your cost.
Right.
But for me personally, I don't. So I don't factor that into my cost, but I'm not losing any money. So I'm still working, but how I'm able to make the money is the customizing. Yes. So that's something for you to think about. And if that's something else that you offer, then you can one up me on that level and take it there. It's totally up to you. So we're going to give you the framework for what, your government contracting business can look like and the different things you can do extra, to add on, or, how you want to word those things to get paid for them. We're going to teach you that within the course. And like Curtis said, we're going to give you the good, bad, and the ugly, because no one I know was out here doing this. No one. There was no class. Everybody was offering medical billing, which I had gotten into that years ago in the salon. And to me, it didn't pay off because they didn't pay enough. And 2, it took too long for you to get your money. And then 3, the client still had to come out of pocket because the medical billing didn't cover all of the cost. So they still had to come out of pocket. So with this, it operates a little differently. There was no course out there. No, any person I asked, it was unheard of. So I was like, this is something I have to teach my people. And I'm excited because the possibilities honestly are endless. I've been doing this now 4 years, and the clients, once they like what they like, they're going to keep sending those orders to you.
Right.
And those patients that you're actually able to work with, they will want others from you as well. So like I said, that's, I don't want to get into the course, but there's a lot that definitely can be done. And I know you won't be disappointed. If you can see the forest from the trees and what we're saying, you got to look past where you are today. And a lot of times when it comes to investment and paying for classes, people, they don't want to get screwed over. They don't want anybody to play with their money. And one thing I can tell you about what we do is we give you way more information than you ask for, than you want, because we understand value. We also understand education. I'm a licensed cosmetology instructor, so I come with 20 plus years of cosmetology teaching education. So I take this very seriously. This is not a game. And I'm really helping to set up people in my industry that are serious about their life, their business, and their career. So for me, it's everything. And we are also not going to throw you away after the course is over. We are also there for you for advice. If you have advice questions, and you can reach out. We don't just throw you away after the course. And, we offer coaching to you during the time that you're in the course. And I do want to just make this point. I had several people last 2 cohorts that we did that they said that, hey, I'm already in the system, but I don't know why I'm not getting orders. And so a lot of people were like, I don't know if I should take the course or not, because I'm in the system. And I explained to them, yeah, you could be in the system all day long, but if you don't have what they're looking for, they are not going to find you in the system. So what the customized approach that we've made with this program is to make sure that you have the right language within what you are providing, in those keywords, in those different codes, so that you can be found and how to get found. Those points of context, with the government is what's really going to help push you in the direction. And the research that's behind it, Curtis has done a great job with helping those, who have been in this course before and that decided to go, to other states or whatever, and they're looking to do more work, because that is something you can do. You don't just have to do it in your state. And those requirements are different from state to state, but we explain all of that in the course. So it can become as large as you want it, or as small as you want to keep it. It's totally up to you. You have the power in your hands with what you do, with what you create with this part of your business. So I encourage you, if you have questions, reach out to Curtis and you can ask them, I guess, here on your channel.
Yeah, they normally drop comments in the comment section, or sometimes people will go to the about page and send me an email. Either way is fine. But there was a couple of things that you said, and we won't belabor it. But we're going to really walk with you by the hand. Now, we're not going to do the work for you. But Kina talked about being in the system. See, it's not a secret now that in order to be a government contractor, you have to be in SAM, System for Award Management. I got a video on my channel that talks about how to register. So we started teaching this course almost 3 years ago.
2020.
3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. When we started teaching this course 3 years ago, people were saying, I'm in SAM and I can't understand why nobody's contacting me. And I said, it's great that you're in SAM, but a lot of businesses are in SAM. There's millions of businesses in SAM, and most of them are not getting any business. And I don't care, we're talking barbers and cosmetologists, IT companies, landscape. There's a method to this. And it's not just about putting orders in on SAM contract opportunities, just putting in proposals. That's a failed strategy too. But I won't do that today. I've talked about this on previous videos. But we're going to give you a tailorized process that we follow. Let me say this. We're going to provide you the points of contact, but I want to say this, and I want it to be recorded. The government is not obligated. So I'm going to give you your points of contact based on the areas in which you want to provide service, okay? I am not, nor is Kina. The government does not report to us. We're going to give you the points of contact as we have them. As those points of contact change, the government is not obligated to tell Kina or I when someone moves to a different office or leaves that government position totally. So we're going to give you the most accurate information that we have. And this is my commitment. If that point of contact changes, I'm going to give you the tools to find that point of contact yourself. But if you are not, I will help you in that process. But I need you to know there is no other course that I'm aware of who tells you what to email, what to say in the email, who to email, and what to say to guarantee, or better, I won't say guarantee because you still got to do the work, to better put you in a position to win. I don't know any other course. Well, I do it in all my courses, Kina's courses, but I don't know any other instructor that's doing that, telling you who to call, how to call them, or how to email them, what to say when you email them, and if they respond in a way that we haven't scripted to help you navigate how to have that conversation. So we tried to take all of the guesswork out of this course. And I'm in with this. For my barbers, it is not uncommon to do $650 plus per unit. I'm gonna just say that. How many heads do you have to cut to make at least $650? Now there's some differences based on locality. Some places are making more, but I wouldn't be charging less than $650, and that does not even include the maintenance once you apply that unit for a hair loss patient or candidate or whatever customer. It doesn't. Now for my women, and we're going to talk really, really low numbers because we can build a ticket, and in the class we'll probably talk about what we charge and where we started and where we are today. But it is not uncommon for you to be making $850 to $900 with no customization. And that's all I'm going to say. That's a whole lot of heads and perms, not perms. Kina told me that's not the right word. Relaxers. That's the correct word. Relaxers, cutting and style that you have to do to make $900. And we're going to show you how to keep your cost in check so that you can maximize profitability on that. That's one unit for women. That's one unit for men at $650. And I've seen, I'm not going to tell y'all the number. I have seen 4-figure cost for barbers and stylists in this space. And that's all I'm going to say. If you want the details, you got to jump in the class. But space, here's the thing. We want people who are truly committed. You don't have to have any prior business experience. By the time you come through the class, I'm probably going to restructure your whole business anyway. And then it's going to be up to you to move forward with that. But we are going to put you in a position to succeed. Y'all already know, got an MBA, Master's in Project Management, and a PhD. We're probably going to streamline your business at no additional cost to you. This is just who I am. So, anything else you want to add, Kina, before we let the people go?
I just want you guys to keep in mind of something that Curtis said. He said $800-900, and he gave y'all a hint, but that's not even all. That's just a piece of what that ticket looks like. So if you listen to what I said earlier about what you make in a week. So start tagging from what you would make in a week to what he just said, plus some. And I'm just going to leave it there because everyone's business is different. What you're able to provide is different. What you're going to charge is going to be different than someone else in the class and what they're going to charge. So, I just want you guys to just really think about what is being said here, because like Curtis said, you know, this, you got to be careful with what you say and how you say it. But we got the proof in the pudding. So in the class, we're going to show you what that looks like from the system that I use to process orders. We're going to show you what that looks like, because I'm real about mine. And I'm not ever going to come on anybody's social media platform, my husband or not, anyone, not even myself, and fake the funk. But we want to be able to show you exactly what we're making and how we're making it. And that strategy was key, because we didn't have anyone to give us the strategy. So I'm a believer, so I'm just going to be honest with you and tell you, God really gave us the strategy. He really led us in how to do this. And once we saw that it worked and we tried it, we changed things. We did a lot of things. And in that process, now to have structured the strategies properly, now to be able to teach that to someone else, I mean, we're literally giving you the whole pie, you know, and you do with it what you want, how you want. Because I get people that'll reach out from time to time. We have some really great success cases, and we have some not great success cases, but it's because they simply didn't listen. I know we had a young lady that was in Texas, and she taking the course, but she had gone through some things. I really wish she would have jumped on when we told her to, because it would have set her up for today. Because that particular area, they had a lot of wig orders coming through, but they needed someone to be in Texas. And I just personally wasn't willing to open a salon there and go there once a month. Like, honestly, if I was in my early 20s with no kids, I would have did it. But that's not my life. So for me, let me find someone. And literally, I didn't have to find anybody. She found the course. And it's like somebody was doing this, saying, here you go. And she just wasn't ready. And it's unfortunate, because I don't know if that particular area was able to find someone to provide the cranial prosthesis to so many patients.
You know, you opened up a can, which I was not going to even open, but since you opened it, you can do this in all 50 states in the continental U.S. Okay, yeah, in the continental United States, you can do this in all 50 states. One office, and that office Kina's talking about, we're not going to call the name of it. They were doing $1 million a year in wig orders. One office in one city,
and that was back then.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what they're doing now.
One office. So you can imagine, if you're where we told this individual, and they were in that area, they didn't have to move, they didn't have to relocate, they were there. That one office was doing $1 million a year in wig orders. One office. It's a big state, but one office. And depending on how flexible you are willing to be, now one of the things we do recommend, because I can see it, I can hear the wheels turning. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna take over the world. Start in your backyard. Learn, make your mistakes there. Now, we're gonna do everything we can to help you avoid mistakes. But it's nothing like being in it. Learn all of your lessons there. And I'm gonna say this: no two offices are the same. Each office is ran a little differently. I don't make the rules, but these are the things we want you to be mindful of. So don't be surprised if you have work with one office and then you go to another office and it's slightly different. There's a different supervisory chain in place, and they may have a different process. Some offices are more organized than others, but I'm gonna tell you something. For the amount of money you can potentially make, you're not gonna mind the irregularity of process. Meaning the lack of consistency in process. Some price points for some offices are going to be lower, some are going to be higher. But even still, if you do the things we teach and the strategies we're going to tell you, you're going to win. We've even had students with no cosmetology background to take our course and do well. It's most of the time the business people who know nothing about hair whatsoever, but understand business process. Those are the people who win. It's the unfortunate part. And I know Kina's pushing this for barbers and cosmetologists, and that's what we want in our course. But the unfortunate part is sometimes um, sometimes the barbers and cosmetologists are their own worst enemy. I don't know if I probably should have said that, but it's true anyway. It's the business people who we want. And if you're a business person, now we want you to be a barber and cosmetologist because you're going to be able to better manage your profitability, because this is what you already do. There's going to be a minimal learning curve. Now, again, we're not going to teach you how to put on. So this question always comes up. Are you going to teach me weaving techniques? No, that's not what this course is. There's a lot of people out there who can teach you weaving techniques, and that's what they do. Are we going to teach? Go ahead.
You keep saying weaving courses, but it's not weaving courses.
Okay, correct me.
It's wig making courses.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And the business people that you're referring to are normally salon owners that have wig makers that work in their salons. And because they own a salon, it would only make sense for them to do that. They have people right there that can make the units and all of that. So, I mean, it's a win-win.
See, as you see today, this is not my elements. If I was just talking about pure government contracting, I wouldn't have made half of these mistakes today. But I know nothing. I know very little about the beauty.
Okay.
But that's why we combine. She took what she knows, she bringing that to the table. I'm taking what I know, and collectively, you guys are going to win for those who decide to go on this learning journey with us. And we're going to just show you, because we got the proof, we got the receipts. We're going to just show you what we've done, and we can show you how to build your ticket. Now, why would we teach this? And I'm mindful of the time because I don't want to make this video too long. I am mindful of the time. We want to see you change your life. You know, I married a cosmetologist, and so I tip my barber very well because I know the wear and tear on the body and the time they're away from their family, and so I compensate them well for what they do. But we don't want you having to be a slave to your chair unless you want to be, because life is full of choices. You know, we even had a barber who was in his early 20s take our course. So this isn't about how old or how young you are. It's just about, do you want to work smarter or harder? Anything you want to say before we get out of here, Kina?
I do just want to add, for anyone who has taken our course before, you can reach out to us, especially if you see this video, and we will allow you to have access again, because there are some things that have changed. And I think it would be a good idea for us to, reach out as well to those who have taken the course. We have people that took the course and did absolutely nothing, which I think is nuts to me, for you to make an investment and you do nothing with it. So if you know you're not going to really move forward, then we would rather you not take the course, because we don't do this for your money. We do this because I want to make a staple and a change in our industry. And hopefully one day someone will hear about this and want to put it on the news. I'm really believing, God, that that door is going to open, because what we're doing here is making a staple in the cosmetology and barbering industry. And it has not hit the right ears yet. And I'm looking forward for the day that it does, so this can get more exposure and get on bigger platforms with other people. I have an idea in my mind about something, but I just want to say that. So if you're that someone that just happened to run across this video, please, share this video with someone else, because it is just unheard of. It's an untapped market for us. And to be honest with you, when having conversations with certain government entities, they ask me, they're like, hey, is there more people like you that do this so we can send to our colleagues in other states? I get that question. And I would love to be able to say, absolutely, hey, I've trained someone, or someone's, I taught this, and I would love that. So, we just want to share this information with you guys. Of course, we're compensating for our time in terms of how much the course costs and our expertise. But at the end of the day, it's something. I feel like the amount of education that we're putting into this program, we're putting more into it than what we're actually charging for it. It's unmatched, to be honest with you. And we did that for a reason. We did that for a reason because we want people to be able to afford what we're giving out, and not for it to be up here so unreachable, and people are just like scrambling or selling their cars. And I hear all kind of crazy stories about what people do just to be a part of a course or a class or go to some type of seminar or function because there's celebrities there, and we don't want you to put yourself in debt. And I love the way you have the program structured to where, there's amazing payment plans available for those who need to just kind of stretch out their payments. But honestly, like I said, your first order, you're going to make that money back. So it's definitely worth it.
You do what we say. If you do what we say, you should be able to comfortably recoup your investment. But like Kina said, we don't do this for money. We don't. This is not a money play for us. You don't see me running excessive amounts of ads. You don't see that. We're just trying to get the word out because we want to impact as many people as possible. But we make money in our day jobs. We do this just to be a benefit to other people because, we redefine what success means to us. Success is not about money. Now, I recognize we all need money, but success is about maximizing your purpose, defining your purpose, maximizing your potential, and being the biggest benefit or blessing to other people. So for us, it's not a money play. Now, we do pay for the platforms, and we have put a significant amount of our time into curating this course content, and we're spending additional time with you at a no additional charge a couple times every month just to answer your questions and to be present, to make sure that you're getting actionable, legal, ethical, FAR compliant guidance. And so, of course, there's a charge for that because if we could be doing something else, probably could be making more money doing something else other than being on the Zoom. But the reason why we're doing this is because we've seen government contracting, as many of you know, changed my life. My wife found success in a whole different domain that she didn't foresee, and we really just want to share that. But we don't give it away. People say, "Well, if you're that concerned about it, why don't you just give it away?" Because the thing we learned about is if it has no price tag, it's often deemed as not valuable. So we put a significant enough price on it for you to take the course seriously and do what you're supposed to do. Now, the course isn't expensive because I see many of the people in the beauty industry with the Chanel and the Louis Vuitton and all of that stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But make an investment that's going to give back to you in the short term and the long.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to say, Kina, before we go?
I think that's it. I think we said enough.
Okay. But you can No, I'm happy. Always share a platform with you, and that's the love of my life, the apple of my eye, my spouse. I appreciate that girl. She's been nothing but supportive, and this was her idea to even do this because she wanted to create an impact in the lives of many. She wasn't always married. She was a single mama for a while, running a full 6-figure salon, and all of the stress that came with that. And she knew far too many women and men for that matter, in a similar situation. And this was her way of trying to pay it forward. So this is our gift to the barber and cosmetology industry for those who decide to accept that challenge, that you can really take back the power and put it back in your hands and really carve a financial future for yourselves. But that's all I got today. Kina, thank you so much for being so generous with your time and gracing us and letting us know how government contracting changed your life in the cosmetology space. You have done some barbering, but We could talk about it a different day. Kina is not a barber. We could talk about how we partner in the barbering space for our students, even though she is not a barber. But I don't want to make this a 2-hour video. So thank you, Kina, for joining us. And I look forward to hopefully you joining me in a future video.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
All righty. Okay, guys, that was the end of that interview. I hope you took something from it. It was a lively conversation. You know, one of the things we're trying to do on this channel is bring actionable tips, tools, strategies, insights that you can use. And so I have been a firsthand witness of what government contracting can do for the barbers and cosmetologists in the world. So I hope you will tap into this course, but I only want you if you're serious. This is not a paper chase for Kina and I. We really genuinely want to see lives change. So if you're going to be serious, and I do mean serious about your business, putting together the S Corps or the LLCs and really understanding how to build business structure and really scale your business, if that's something you're interested in, then look no further. This is the course for you. If you do not want to put that work in, we strongly discourage you from applying, because we're going to be ready to rock and roll and help you in your business journey. If that's not what you're about, this is probably not going to be the best fit. But that's all I got for today. If you have not already, I want you to smash that subscribe button, like, share, hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be apprised of any future videos. And I want you to go back and watch some of my future videos. And don't forget to go to the 8-Figure GovCon website. Take a look around. Definitely browse to the store, and you're going to see the government contracting for barbers and cosmetology course located on the store page. And they're going to be you're going to be able to see it on the store page. So take a look around, and I hope I see you in the course, and much success to you. Enjoy the remainder of your week, and I'll see you in a future video. Until next time.